Omezi, I agree with you I'm with you on what you're saying. There are some players in Tottenham probably that cannot, guarantee them success. For instance, I've been looking at some.
That changes everything. I'm just saying there's a striker within him.
Okay, yeah. so if I get you,
not an
if you had a new Liverpool coach.
Let me give you an example. Nicholas Jackson. The only reason people have not stormed Stamford Bridge and catch him.
Liverpool scored 4 goals last weekend against Spurs. This is a team that first, let me ask you guys, did Liverpool bottle the league since that's the new?
Oh, without a doubt. without a doubt. They were what, 5?
They were 2 or 3 points
or so
ahead.
No, I think they were more than that before they lost.
Yeah, against City, they were 5 points ahead of City, but 2 ahead of.
They had a game. They had games in hand. Yeah.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, you don't make a statement or rather make an announcement like Klopp did, right? And then shortly after that, you're dropping off of every other tournament. You dropped out of the Europa League, you dropped out of FA Cup, and they dropped out of EPL. So yeah, they bottled it. They had a chance to win. They had already won EFL. They had a chance to win the 4th title this season.
The quadruple.
Yeah, and now they're walking away with just the one, the lowest cup in English football. Mm-hmm. So there's no other way to look at it. And to think that this is meant to be Klopp's, retirement, semi up into the sunset, swan song, kumbaya for me, and they did this to him. And then on top of that, the optics with him fighting against Salah on the touchline. Yeah, anyone that says otherwise, I think they bottled it 100%.
Well, let me ask you real quick. First half of the season, Salah was cooking. Salah was clutch, was scoring goals, creating assists. January went to the Nations Cup, got injured, came back, has not really been fit, and dropped form, not scoring goals, missing chances. He wasn't fit for a while. How much is Salah's form or lack of form and fitness? How much does this Liverpool bottle hang on it?
Well,
because bearing in mind about 4 or 5 weeks ago, or maybe a month or 2 ago, I asked you, without Salah, can Liverpool be in the title race? I remember asking that question in one of our shows.
Okay, well, I don't recall, but Salah is an extremely important player, and I think up to now still a bit underappreciated and underrated, considering what this guy has done, the body of work he's put in, his production for Liverpool. So if I sit here tonight and say, without Salah's contribution, that Liverpool will successfully implement an EPL championship or an EPL contention, that would be doing a disservice to the work that Salah has put in and the production he's gotten for Liverpool. Right? It's just like saying Messi in the Barcelona of those days, without Messi, that they will challenge successfully. I don't think so. As long as Salah is there and he's playing, what he brings to the table is not just goal scoring, but his assists, his running up the ball, his intelligence on the ball, very high IQ player. And I think that what happened in January wasn't just injury, but the fact that Saudi Arabia came with a bunch of money for the dude. They offered him a lot of money. He wanted to go, but Klopp closed the door to his departure, and he accepted that only for him to come back from injury and ended up on the bench more often than not. And so his thinking was, hey, I wanted to leave. You deprived me of that opportunity, thinking that you will play me all the time. But I've been relegated, and you have people playing that are not producing the kind of numbers I would normally produce for the team. So
maybe you turn around and announce your own departure.
and then you turn around and announce your own departure. So the dynamics of the whole thing.
We'll get into that. I was going to mention that as well. Let me ask you: if you are Liverpool club or maybe the new coach, will you still believe in Darwin Núñez? Will you still give him a chance?
Darwin Núñez. Oh man. First of all, I would answer that question in another way. Darwin Núñez transfer fee. I always say this every time. It's not the player's fault that their transfer fee, like Anthony of Manchester United or Mudryk of Chelsea, is that much. You don't blame the players. They have good agents, and you were desperate. Was Darwin Núñez a 70 million, 80 million pound striker? After playing for Benfica? No, he wasn't. But that's where agency, Fabrizio Romano, that's how they oil the business, and teams get desperate and they go buy him. If Darwin Núñez was a 35 million pound striker, as he should have been, this goals is missing right now, or this pressure, it's not going to be this this much on him. If I was the coach, you asked me a direct question: is he going to fit in? Watching the new coach with his gameplay at final, he goes with a big target number 9. Maybe he has to refine his game, where he has to be that big target number 9. Because right now, Klopp plays them. He does that familiar role. He plays with his back behind, link up plays, and now he could be as a primary target number 9. Remember at Benfica, he was a primary target number 9. And you white team, he's that primary. So maybe a change of coach would be a good fortune for him, where we see a different kind of striker than he is. Because right now, Klopp was trying to mirror him like Firmino, which he's not. We all could see he's not the Firmino kind of. But
the thing is, the problem with Núñez is not even the playing style. Núñez gets. I don't care what he was doing in Benfica, but he gets the chances. He's not scoring, bro. It's not just that. It's not that he's not getting the chances.
Where is he getting those chances?
He's getting everything. The headers, one-on-ones, and this guy has the pace to run in behind strikers.
Okay, maybe the coach tells him, I don't want you to go behind this place. I don't want you to go put the ball behind this. Maybe that changes everything. I'm just saying there's a striker within him.
Okay, yeah. So if I get you,
he's not an
if you're the new Liverpool coach.
Let me give you an example. Nicolas Jackson. The only reason people have not stormed Stamford Bridge and catch him on his neck and drag him out of that field is because he cost us only 35 million. Imagine if Nicolas Jackson was 80 million and he was doing what he was doing right now. Do you know the kind of...
But in all fairness though, this player that you just mentioned, Nicolas Jackson, Darwin Núñez, these guys have had chances that are just not going in, right? So I understand Núñez has probably had more because he's been in EPL longer. But don't you think it's a situation where once he starts scoring, then the floodgates are going to open? Because I think that's the situation.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too, because again, like you rightly said, there's a striker in there. The fact that he's arriving in those places, and I said the same thing about Kai Havertz. At the start of the season, right? I didn't even think Arteta was going to use him as a striker, right? But one thing that one thing he was doing for me at that time, I thought, he's arriving where these passes are supposed to be, and somehow, some way, his production started improving. Now let's talk about Núñez in that same light. Like Justice said, I feel like once he starts scoring, he's going to have a field day because he's always arriving there. He's always getting those big chances, and I think it's more mental than anything right now. It's more mental. Maybe he's letting his transfer fee get to his head or something. But you can see that there's a striker in there.
Now, when he starts scoring, he scores now. He scores every now and then. So why is he not sustained?
I think it's just mental. I honestly think it's mental. Because if he's arriving in those positions, I think Arsene Wenger said it back then about some striker. I can't remember who it was, but he said like as long as strikers get in those kind of positions, in those dangerous positions over and over again, at some point it's going to click for them. Personally, would I want to see that? Maybe not. But at some point, I believe very firmly that, you know, if he can get over that hump, that mental hump, then we might see a different kind of striker.
I'm just playing the devil's advocate. I actually really do feel for the young man, because sometimes some of the chances that he misses, and he doesn't just miss these chances, he keeps hitting the upright on the crossbar every day. What do you have to add to this one before we move on?
I'm on the same page with Justice and Omar. I completely agree. When a forward keeps getting to those positions, I think his own is even better because he's hitting the bar. Hitting the bar means
it's close, right?
You know, one or two inches in the left or to the right.
Yeah.
Or lower or upper he scores. So what I would do, his problem are two things. What Omar said, mental, number one, because when a striker gets into the striker's head that, hey, am I going to miss this? Or am I going to score it? That is the problem. Second problem is coaching. Yeah, and I'm not committing what do they call it? I'm not committing sacrilege or whatever by saying coaching, since the almighty club is his coach. Yeah. But there are coaches that develop strikers. If I were a club, where a club is on his way out, you know, I would hire a former striker that knows how to position themselves to score goals. Right?
I think Sheringham hangs around that team. Sheringham hangs around.
Yeah, Sheringham is useless.
Around Liverpool.
When you hear him talk, you know he's useless.
So what I'm saying is Liverpool. Really?
No, Robbie Fowler, sorry.
Oh, really? Robbie Fowler, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's more like it. So,
sorry.
What I would suggest is, you know, if they alter his runs a little bit, maybe alter the way he runs towards the ball, the way he positions himself towards the ball, a proper coach that knows how to develop players will improve Darwin Núñez.
Well, I hear you guys. I think one of the things I will say that let's talk about Tottenham a little bit. But to close down that talk, one thing I will mention is, if you remember from the beginning of the season, I think just like you mentioned it now, I think the club needs to be blamed a little bit for Núñez, because at the beginning of the season he was actually playing Diego Jota and Gakpo, Núñez. There was no established, none of these players had a run in that team for a sustained period as a number 9. Some games he will start Núñez, the next game he will start Gakpo, the next game you will see Jota. I think it was even Jota that had more of the opportunities than other until he got injured and started having injury. So Núñez has not really, thinking about it now, Núñez has not really had like 10 games that he's sure that every week he's going to start. For a player that cost that much to the team, I think maybe club should have probably said, okay, you know what, I'm going to give you this run of 10 games. Let's see what you have. So, sometimes like the last 2-3 games, he's been using Gakpo. The Núñez comes in as a substitute. So maybe that's one of the reasons too. And sometimes he plays in your head as a striker. Let's talk about Tottenham.
I'm sorry, before you jump into Tottenham, let me just say something to Nimi real quick. Nimi, you mentioned Jackson, right? When I first came on this show, I think one of my first episodes on this show, I said Jackson was one of the best strikers in EPL.
I remember very well.
Nimi, mark my words, that guy is going to be a beast. Give him time.
I think you and I are in two different parallel worlds. Maybe you explore something.
Maybe let